This is the Tristan Law Show. If it's your first time here, welcome. If you've been here before, welcome back. I'm Tristan Law, some retired pro wrestler. Today, I'm your host. Pro wrestling fans. I'm talking to all of you pro wrestling fans out there. I need you to be honest with yourself right now. Today, we're going to have a little bit of honesty. We're going to be real with each other. We're going to have a candid conversation. Here's the question I want to ask you. Are you really mad at Triple H? Or are you mad because the WWE is forcing us to accept that the era that you grew up in is over? Because if you ask me, this isn't just about one finish. It's about Cena tapping. It's not about the legends losing the wrong way. It's the stories feeling colder. This is about you deciding to no longer want to eat food because WrestleMania will be in Las Vegas again, and you want to watch Raw, SmackDown, NXT, WrestleMania, and the Hall of Fame in person, buy a plane ticket, and not sleep in the street in Las Vegas. That's what I think this whole thing is about. So today we're going to be answering one question. Is Triple H building the best WWE or a WWE that is leaving part of the fan base behind? Whether you're watching this live or on demand, you already know. If it's your first time here, you don't know. What I'm saying is that we are fully interactive. I love to hear from you. I love to hear what you have to say. I love to hear your takes because you are a part of the show. I also got a poll going on. You know, if you don't know about the polls, I like the poll. Oh, damn it. What I mean, I like polling the audience to see how you guys feel. That's what I mean. I like polling the audience to see how you guys feel. And today's poll is pretty straightforward. I am asking you, why are you frustrated with the WWE right now? Is it Cena's booking? Did it cross the line? Is it because legends aren't respected anymore? Is it because the tickets cost too damn much? And do you feel that you're not frustrated and Triple H is doing just fine? I see Fernando. Fernando's already in the chat. I see Sweets is already here. What's going on, guys? Thank you so much. We are really focusing on the live chat today. So if you've got something to say, you make sure that you bring your heat because I want to keep it spicy today. So we're going to start with the match. The match that I think that lit the moment for me. The match that made me realize that, you know what, people really don't like Triple H. And the match that I'm talking about is the John Cena and Gunther match, John Cena's last match in the WWE. The question I want to ask you now, and let me know in the chat, whether you're watching live or on demand, however you are watching, let me know in the chat. Cena's tapping out. Was it the right call or was it the wrong call? I'm going to answer that question in a little bit, so make sure you put that in the chat. We are going to interact. We are having a conversation today about this whole entire thing. But John Cena tapping out, man. I think for a lot of people, I think that hit different for a lot of people. Why did it hit different? John Cena out there talking about never give up. I think when you look at John Cena saying that he never gives up, maybe what it is that John Cena's probably betrayed everybody, the visual of it. The visual of John Cena actually giving up, actually tapping out in the WWE. Something that you've never seen before. You know, putting myself in your shoes and utilizing my empathy emotion, I could understand. You know, there's the past. Some fans said that, you know, John Cena should have passed out. Some people said that, you know, he should have never tapped. I mean, okay, great. Maybe if John Cena just passed out, you would have still gotten the same result. But me looking at the whole entire picture, if John Cena had passed out, would people had just said that he was Super Cena and just start pooping all over that? Oh my God, for his last match, we got Super Cena. He just can't even do the right thing and just tap out. I think that's something that we would have heard. Some people would have said, well, you know, John Cena got pinned. You know, he got beat fair and square. He shouldn't have got beat fair and square in his last day. So what I'm thinking and I see the chat. I'm going to jump over to the chat in a second. What I'm telling you guys, from my firsthand experience as being a pro wrestler, when I say semi-retired pro wrestler and your host of the Tristan Law Show, none of that is a lie. When I mean semi-retired, I got my friends all the time in the wrestling business. Yo, bro, you ever going to come back? I don't know. Am I the host of the Tristan Law Show? Yeah, everything here says Tristan Law, so yeah, it's me. From my firsthand experience, I'm telling you, when you come into the wrestling business, it's about, in the wrestling business, we take. We take the money, right? We try to take the top spot. We try to take as much as we can get so that we can be a bigger star in the end. But on your way out, it's about giving back to the next generation. When you are looking at the whole entire generation of when The Rock left, when Austin left, if Rock and Austin never really left, there would probably be no John Cena. When Rock and Austin left, it was such a tough transition. Who was the man? It put Triple H in the main event picture, right? It put Kane in the main event. It put a lot of different people in the main event picture. But I felt like WWE was scrambling on what to do. But this way around, the way that they did it with John Cena having a whole retirement story and everything else like that, I feel like it was such an easy transition. John Cena was the man. This is not no Goldberg, and I can hear Heel Vega now why you keep talking about Goldberg. Goldberg didn't get what John Cena got. Did Goldberg deserve what John Cena got? No. I think that, being honest, and I'm not hating on Goldberg right now, we're just having a discussion like friends. What is Goldberg's real accolade? He went undefeated in WCW in 1998. While during that time, he was the WCW champion, that he beat Hulk Hogan for the belt. Other than that, what has Bill Goldberg really done? Besides walking around looking like a jacked up Stone Cold Steve Austin. Yeah! I see Cheyenne Ortiz. He is a part of this channel. Make sure you catch him. Main Event Conversations. We have another episode coming up on January 2nd. That's a Friday at noon. Make sure you watch that. We also have a previous episode with him where he interviews beautiful Buddy Thomas. That's up right now on this channel. You should make sure you check that out. And you go ahead and give him a follow as well, too. He does his own thing on his channel. It's all about building a community and an ecosystem here. Cheyenne, good to see you. Cheyenne said, if it's the ending Cena wanted, then it's all fair. I agree. Because you guys think, let me explain to you, because we're reacting to the chat now, so I'm going to read everybody's message. You really believe that, let me see if I can put this another way. John Cena could have retired at WrestleMania, Royal Rumble, SummerSlam, any of those. But John Cena chose to retire at a bum-ass Saturday night's main event. He chose to retire at a bum-ass Saturday night's main event because if he had retired anywhere else at any other big event in the year, the show wouldn't have been about him or the future. It would have been about progressing the storylines. They could have never taken a whole entire night of WrestleMania, taken the whole portion of the Royal Rumble, and just giving it to the new future. No. You'd be like, oh, well, I paid all this money to watch people from NXT wrestle people in the WWE with matches that really were just exhibitions. He chose a bum-ass Saturday night's main event to give us his final night in the WWE. Going to Washington, D.C. to go watch Saturday night's main event, WWE turned a bum-ass Saturday night's main event into something big. They said that nobody is bigger than the business these days than John Cena. John Cena is the business. He was the business. They had an entire WWE superstore dedicated to John Cena. Where have you ever been to any WWE event? And I know they're expensive. We're going to talk about that in a little bit. Where have you ever been to a WWE event to where you go into the superstore and 99.9% of the merchandise is dedicated to one wrestler? John Cena got to dictate all of that. When you went to the WWE website, and I want to see if it's still like that right now. I'm going to check right now. When you went to the WWE website and you went to the superstar pages, right? On the top, yes, it's still there. On the top where it says WWE Superstars, they have images of John Cena at the top. Just John Cena at the top where it says WWE Superstars. John Cena got to dictate the way that he went out. John Cena said that he never gave up and he had to give up. And what I think that was doing was that was positioning Gunther as the final boss. Gunther is the final boss of the WWE, and he is the man that he said that's going to be able to say that he beat not only John Cena, but in the same exact calendar year he retired Goldberg as well too. Now you got to think about the optics to how this whole entire thing looks with John Cena giving up. Listen, John Cena built his career off the back of a couple wrestlers. And we're not going to run into the whole entire wrestlers that he built his back off of. We're going to talk about only one person right now. And that one person is Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar beat the brakes off of John Cena at WrestlePalooza. And John Cena is never going to be able to get his lick back. Just picked up his ball and said, all right, I lost this one, on to the next one. What if the optics, people will cheer, people will cheer. People hate Gunther right now that anybody standing in front of Gunther is an immediate babyface. What if Brock Lesnar shows up and says, I saw what you did to Cena. Do that to me. So, Sweets said it's definitely the right call. Triple H and Gunther and Cena did a fantastic job at Saturday night's main event. I personally think the match was great. I believe in my heart that Cena was the one that booked that match. He put it all together the way that he wanted it to be. They told him that he had as much time as he wanted. He went out there and he did it. Maria says, I'm sick of Triple H stepping onto others' moments. He didn't need to walk to the ring after the Cena match. Maria, I can understand that. Because if you notice what Cody Rhodes and CM Punk did, they took a knee in the ring. When Gunther lost, he immediately rolled out and walked away. And there's also a shot, if you look at it back again, in the end to when Gunther leaves and it's John Cena and the referee in the ring, the referee's running to get out of the shot because at that time, it's not about anybody other than John Cena. But I think that by Triple H coming out there, that is the boss, that is the face of the WWE, the business face. That's like your boss coming out to your retirement party and saying, John, Maria, job well done. Thank you so much for all that you've done for the business. So I don't see too much of an issue with that. I watched the video, though, of when John Cena was watching the video, when Triple H had look up and watch the video. You know, I think they tried to make a moment to where they can get John Cena emotional in the ring, but John Cena didn't get emotional at all. So, yeah, I can see your point. Maria says that WCW ruined Goldberg when they beat him with a taser. You know what ruined Goldberg? WCW going out of business. Because you think that they were going to bring Goldberg over to WWE to continue with that same bull crap? Goldberg can't run around with an undefeated streak in the WWE. They would never. Goldberg is even lucky as a character. Goldberg is even lucky as a character that he has the ability to come into the WWE and still make some money, because there are a lot of people in the WWE who came over from WCW and never really made nothing of themselves. Look at DDP. DDP Diamond Dallas Page was the man in WCW came over to WWE and became what? The stalker of The Undertaker's wife? Look at Big Papa Pump. Big Papa Pump was the man in WCW. Came over to WWE and did what? I don't know. I'll wait. So for somebody like Goldberg to even get the opportunity to be in the WWE, I think the reason that messed him up was WCW going out of business. F. Villa said, I understand. Oh, F. Villa said, I understand why they made him lose. But they could have made him pass out and stand by his slogan, never give up. Shake my head, horrible finish. But F. Villa, thank you so much for your comment. Never seen you here before. Maybe you've been one of the people watching silently. But I love that you're here and I want to react to your comment. You also said something else too. You said Cena winning wouldn't lower Gunther's stock at all. People respect Cena and the majority of the fans wouldn't have been mad if he won. I respect what you're saying, but look at it like this. Gunther beat the man that said he would never give up and made him give up. That automatically makes the sleeper hold a legit move. A legit move that Gunther's going to walk around. Look, the attitude adjustment. If a lot of people out there are just watching, the attitude adjustment is only something because John Cena stole the move. He copied the move from Brock Lesnar. He took Brock Lesnar's legit move, the F5, coined it as the FU, and then because we had to because of the pussification of everything, they had to call the move the attitude adjustment. So John Cena left the business better than when he found it because John Cena made the headlock legit. Brock Lesnar is a mixed martial arts fighter. Pro wrestler turned MMA fighter turned pro wrestler. Now, I don't know what he does. He's pro wrestler sometimes. Now, the story that WWE can tell is Brock Lesnar has to watch out for the headlock because John Cena got beat with the headlock because Goldberg got beat with the headlock. Why is everybody so up in arms about how how John Cena lost, but not over how Goldberg lost? Look, I ain't gonna front. As they say, don't cap. Caps are for your head. There was a lot of people, me being included in my younger years, who didn't appreciate what John Cena had to do for the business. But John Cena's one of those people that when he went away, we were like, damn, I wish we had him. The headlock is a legit move now. The headlock is a legit move. Fernandez says that Triple H started dropping the ball in Cena's retirement from the beginning. That terrible booking of his heel run, refusing Cena's offer to work a lot more dates and the finish of his last match. Look, Fernando, I get it. John Cena goes on, where was it, on a Pat McAfee show it might have been, and he was explaining about the insurance. John Cena they have to take out insurance in John Cena. I'm not talking about the WWE. I'm talking about let's say John Cena's making a movie for Universal. Let's say John Cena's making a movie for Disney, Netflix, whoever. If John Cena's, they take out insurance on John Cena because if something happens to John Cena, they can't finish their movie. So if John Cena decides to go to the WWE, and we know, despite what y'all say about pro wrestling is a shoot. I mean, pro wrestling is a work, right? It's men oiled up, pretend fighting to a finish, and we love it. That is why we are here. But stuff happens in the ring. If John Cena gets hurt, then they can't make their movies. So you know what a negotiator does? You think me, being Universal, Disney, Netflix, or whoever is the production company, that I'm going to eat that entire cost by myself while John Cena comes to your company and make money? No, you guys are going to eat half of that. So maybe why John Cena only did 35 days was because, you know what, that's what TKO and the production company agreed on. Because WWE said that we're not willing to pay for this many days. What if WWE paid for 15 days and the production company paid for the rest, or whatever it may be? And they decided that they were not going to pay for any more. That's just what it is. I get it. But I think that us putting the heat on on Triple H, I think it might just be a little bit misdirected, because it's not like it was Vince McMahon who did everything. There's a person above Triple H. Triple H just handles the booking, the actual writing of the match. So what if it's something as if, like, I don't know, I don't work there. I'm only freestyling. I'm only having a conversation with you guys. We're having a great conversation, and I'm loving it. Make sure you guys mash that subscribe button for more. The channel is growing. But what if they come to Triple H? Triple H kind of handles the negotiation, but he's not the one that signs the contract. Somebody has to sign off on it. And they're like, you know what? We don't want to do this. We want to do that. At the end of the day, I tell everybody works for somebody. The wrestlers are accountable to, let's say, the producers. The producers are accountable to, let's say, Triple H. Triple H is accountable to, let's say, Nick Khan. Nick Khan is accountable to Ariel, to the guy that runs TKO, and he's accountable to the board of directors for TKO, and the board of directors of TKO are accountable to who? The shareholders. Everybody has a boss. That's what happens when pro wrestling goes corporate. Everybody has a boss. Everybody works for somebody. Cheyenne comes back in and says, absolutely no co-sign on this idea. Brilliant. Absolutely co-sign this idea. Brilliant sight on the Lesnar Gunther idea setup. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Jesse PYO says, you believe that John Cena made the right call, but you fail to remember that Cena is a human. And he stated that he did things in wrestling that he regrets or made extremely bad choices. Okay. I see that. Jesse goes on to say, so I believe John Cena made a regrettable mistake on Saturday. So Jesse, you're saying that John Cena made a regrettable mistake of making a bum-ass move like the headlock. The headlock is in the same exact bum-ass category as the leg drop, as the elbow drop, as the super kick, but the elbow drop is beating people. The Macho Man, the leg drop is beating people. Hulk Hogan. The super kick is beating people. Shawn Michaels. And now the headlock is beating people. The headlock is an old school move that they brought back. I think that by John Cena just getting pinned by Gunther, because let's just say he was going to lose either way. I think that by John Cena getting pinned, that it wouldn't have hit the same. We now have Gunther, who's going to probably come out on Raw tonight, right? Because he's Raw, yes. Gunther's going to come out on Raw, and you know what WWE needs to do? Just like Gunther rub salt in the wounds. Just let Gunther come out there and stand on the stage. You remember how everybody booed Roman Reigns coming out of WrestleMania 33 in Orlando? How they just booed him? I think right now, in my personal opinion, I think that that Gunther was on the verge of getting cheered. And I felt that Gunther was too much of a babyface. Now, when he comes out there, the guy that was embodied with hustle, loyalty, respect, the guy who came back and and became the unseen 17, became a Grand Slam champion, became a Triple Crown champion, the guy that wrestled for 23 years and changed in the WWE, you took him out with just a headlock? All Gunther has to do is just come out and just stand there. And him standing there and just smiling, let him stand there for 10 minutes. I hope they boo him to high hell. Boo him. Boo him. And then all he does is walk out. That's the whole segment. I'm watching Raw tonight to talk about, to see if that's what's going to happen. That is what WWE need to do. They need to do that ASAP. Look, Gunther doesn't have to do any talking. Gunther already did the talking in the ring. All the talking has been said and done. Gunther beat the guy that said he was never going to give up. He made him give up. He took your feel-good moment away from you. Gunther is the new final boss of the WWE, and that is what WWE said. Going through this real quick. Eddie Too High, what's going on? Eddie Too High said he laughed in Cena's ear. Maria said Cena should have gotten the Stone Cold finish at WrestleMania 13. Fernando says you're letting Triple H off the hook. I'm afraid. Fernando, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. We're having a conversation here. I don't think that Triple H eats the whole entire thing. I strongly in my semi-pro wrestling expertise know that John Cena had 99.99999% of input into the way that match went. If the rumor and innuendo was that John Cena had as much time as he wanted, you don't think John Cena could have wrote the finish the way that he wanted? I'm sure that they probably had another finish. If they had another finish and it would have finished another way, John Cena would have fought that. John Cena wanted to make sure that Gunther was a bigger star when he left, because look at all that he's done. He gave us the AJ Styles match, right? He gave us the heel run that we all wanted. Granted, the heel run was and all that. But, there's a lot of things that went into that to why it didn't go the way that it went. I think we got a little bit lucky. Sweet says, the fans of Saturday Night Main Event owe Triple H, Gunther, and Cena an apology. The post-match chants were disrespectful. Cena's all about respect.
Thank you.
Sweets, I'm going to have to agree with that. Because if now I understand that people are people are upset and the way that they're behaving, I'm afraid they're going to take more PLEs and move it internationally and just give us the Raw and the SmackDowns. Granted, we're complaining a lot about the WWE right now, and there's a poll going on. Why are you frustrated with the WWE right now? And right now, 36% of you guys are saying that it's the tickets. 27% of you guys are saying that Cena's booking crossed the line. Sweet says, as the Rolling Stones say, you can't always get what you want. Maria says, remember when Ronnie Garvin's best guys beat guys with just the right hook? Cena should have put his foot down more in his career. WWE took advantage of his unselfishness. Maria's an old school fan. Maria was able to tap into remember when Ronnie Garvin beat guys with just the right hook? Look, Maria, shout out to you.
Thank you.
Maria's an old school wrestling fan. Maria could go back to all those days, and I just know a little bit about the old school. But I remember they were beating people in the old school with a heart punch. You took the guy's hand, put it over his head, and then you punch him in the chest, call it the heart punch, he was out. What the heck? That was a finish back in the day. That's how they ended matches back in the day. It wasn't a triple Indy off the top rope. It wasn't pick you up and you stand on the back rope and then do a backflip and then hit you with the cutter, the way that Sol Ruka does. Shout out to Sol Ruka. She's a star coming out of Saturday Night's Main Event. But the thing that really got me with Maria's comment is this. I'm going to read Maria's comment again. And I told you I'm really focusing on you guys today. Maria said, Cena should have put his foot down more in his career. WWE took advantage of his selfishness. Maybe that's true. Maybe John Cena was giving a little bit too much. Maybe. But I think that with everything that's going on, I think that at least we could say this. We could all agree on this. Cena's done. Cena has passed the torch, per se. Cena did 35 days. They got 35 t-shirts out there that they're selling that you can go buy all of them. I ain't gonna buy them. I only got $3,000 to buy no t-shirt. I'm broke. You could buy a Tristan Law Show t-shirt. Link in the description. You could do that. But I think that this is the first time fans can tell if Cena chose this ending and what really matters. That goes off of what Maria said. Maybe he's a little bit too selfish because in the past, Cena losses Everybody was okay with it. You were okay with John Cena losing at WrestleMania to Cody Rhodes. It was WrestleMania SummerSlam to Cody Rhodes. Hence, the silence here from Cena post-match, it made it angry because you haven't heard anything from John Cena yet. Maybe we won't figure this all out until WWE Unreal, which drops next month. The reason why, okay, WWE's Unreal drops next month, how is it they're going to be able to put this part in? Because this part here with Cena could be the end of the second season. So they have enough time to work, to produce each at a time, and then just drop the last one in. I don't know, I'm only freestyling. Because sometimes as fans, we don't want logic. We just want emotional permission to accept the loss. If John Cena came out there and said, guys, it was my idea, would that be the emotional permission to accept the loss? Because the backlash partially exists because WWE didn't frame Cena's mindset correctly or clearly. We had 35 days. 35 days. And I feel that part of why this blew up is because WWE didn't tell us how Cena felt about it. So what did we do? We filled in the blanks ourselves. We had to fill in the blanks ourselves. Now this is where this whole entire thing gets bigger than Cena. This is bigger than Cena because fans are saying that this is a pattern. This isn't just John Cena. This is what Triple H does with everybody. They say that the new complaint that I've been hearing, because I go to Reddit, Twitter, X, Threads, and I want to see what everybody has to say. And the complaint right now is that legends are no longer getting fairy tale endings anymore. They say that and the counter is that wrestling tradition says that you are supposed to go out on your back. You start your first match as a loser, and you get your last match. You end your last match as a loser. I think the real issue is that fans want emotion. They don't want realism. I think that some fans compare it to Vince, right? Vince McMahon protected people. Vince McMahon protected the icons because these are the characters that Vince McMahon built. These were his toys. Triple H, he just ends the era. That's what he does. Triple H just ends the era. Thank you so much for coming. Appreciate your time. Are wrestlers really getting fairy tale endings prior to John Cena? I'm thinking about it now. There's only one other person that I could say had a real... I could say Shawn Michaels had a fairy tale ending. I could say Ric Flair's first ending in WWE was fairy tale. I could say John Cena's ending was fairy tale, but who else? Stone Cold Steve Austin got hurt, left, and never came back. The Rock went to go make a few movies, left and came back. We never really got closure on The Rock, right? Was the closure on The Rock versus Hogan at WrestleMania 18? Was the closure on The Rock versus Cena at WrestleMania 29 in MetLife Stadium? If you ask me, that's not closure because we still got to see The Rock. Undertaker never got closure. Just did that boneyard match and just stopped showing up. Even though he left his boots in the ring at WrestleMania 33 in Orlando. Batista just had a match and it came at the Monday Night Raw the next day and said, I quit, and just left. Triple H got hurt, medical scare, never had a fairy tale ending. Fernando says that Sting's retirement was pretty good in AEW. I think so. I think that Sting had a good showing in AEW. So, okay, aside from Sting, though, aside from Sting, John Cena, Ric Flair the first time, and HBK, who else got a fairy tale ending? Fernando said that you talked about this last week, about emotion being a huge part of the fandom. Yeah. I think that emotion is huge. For me, like I said, the real issue is I think that fans want emotion, not realism. And I think there was a lot of emotion wrapped around into that whole entire match. It was a bum-ass Saturday night's main event. And it felt like we were getting ready to watch WrestleMania. At least to me. At least to me. Can I remember moment for moment that John Cena match with Gunther? No. But I can tell you this. I remember John Cena getting beat with the sleeper hold. I remember Gunther getting put through the table with the attitude adjustment. I remember Sol Ruka. I remember the tag team. I remember Obafemi. The emotions that are wrapped into that, because look, I'm not going to lie. Look, I like Oba. I like Oba, but I still think he's scary. There's emotion in there. Maybe Triple H pretended everybody because, maybe Vince McMahon protected everybody, like I said, it's because they were his toys. He created them so he can kill them. But I think that looking at the way that pro wrestling is, a lot of people don't get the opportunity to write their stories the way that it was done for John Cena. Bruno Sammartino. Bruno Sammartino didn't get to write his story. Maria could tell you that. Hulk Hogan never really got to write his ending of his story. Just stopped wrestling because he got hurt. Jimmy Superfly Snuka, God rest his soul, I probably wrestled him 2-3 years before he passed away. It's not the Jimmy Superfly you saw sailing off the cage at Madison Square Garden. I promise you that. I think that some fans, though, and let me know what you guys think. I think that some fans, they don't need legends to win. They want closure, not wins. Some fans don't need legends to win. They need a ritual. Think like maybe like the final promo, that moment with the crowd, a clean, emotional button. Triple H gives endings. They wrote the last page in John Cena, the character's book. Are we going to see John Cena again? Yes. John Cena's ambassador. We're going to see him doing things, voiceovers, all that. Still be in the video games, all that. We got closure in John Cena. Maria says, what about Mick Foley? Yeah. What about Mick Foley? Mick Foley is the guy that should have never been in the WWE. He was a 6'5" and jacked. He's about 6'2", didn't have abs. And look what the heck Mick Foley did. Took pro wrestling, took what Vince McMahon, this idea of a pro wrestler was, and turned it on its head. Showed up with something different. Mick Foley is the reason why WWE was able to finally stop getting their face stomped in by WCW for 82 weeks. Because Eric Bischoff said, Eric Bischoff said, oh, that guy over there, Mick Foley, Monday Night Raw is pre-recorded, but you guys aren't watching that because I'm going to tell you what happens. Mick Foley's going to win the WWF Championship in the main event, and what did everybody do? Switch the channel. They switched the channel quicker than they switched their draws. He never got to have an ending. He never got to have closure. Imagine if we had got a 35-day, imagine if we were still able to get a 35-date tour out of Mick Foley today. Imagine if we were able to get a 35-day retirement tour out of Stone Cold Steve Austin today. I think we'd all be okay with that. But why is it different for John Cena? I think that wrestling fans don't want legends protected. I think they want them acknowledged. I think that all the money that we've spent and the time that we've spent loving these pro wrestlers for years, we just want them acknowledged. Just a little bit. Just a tad. Just a smidge. Name one legend, right now I'm asking you guys, name one legend who got a perfect send-off in the WWE and one who didn't. Not Bret Hart, the same guy that got ended by Bill Goldberg, the super kick to the head in WCW that ended Bret Hart's career, that gave him the stroke. What did they do? Brought him back a couple years later to wrestle Vince McMahon? Really? The best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be. The son of a wrestler, of one of the biggest names, one of the biggest last names in pro wrestling. He got to end his career with Vince McMahon. I promise you this, when I went to wrestling school, I don't think I want to end my career with Vince McMahon. It was never on my wish list. On my wish list was never to end my career with somebody like Shane McMahon. I want to end my career at The Undertaker. Why the hell not? Fernando says that Jericho will get a retirement tour for sure when he returns to the WWE. I think that Jericho will. Fernando said that. Thank you for your comment.
Thank you.
I think Jericho will. I think that Jericho will be doing more days. I think that Chris Jericho could be the person that is under the mask, the hood, but I don't think that he's the only one. It could be more than one. That is another conversation for another day. Okay, but even if you accept the legend philosophy, people are still saying that the weekly product, it just feels different. It don't feel the same. When you're looking at, okay, let me ask you guys a question right now. What is Triple H doing right? Everybody's roasting Triple H. Everybody's hating on Triple H right now. Let's give some constructive criticism. Let's give him an attaboy. There has to be one thing out of a billion that he's doing right. When you're looking at somebody in your life, or when you know that everything in your life is not going right, I promise you there's at least one thing that you're doing right. What is that one thing that Triple H is doing? Maria says that if I'm AJ Styles, I'm concerned about my retirement tour coming up. I think that it's going to be different for AJ Styles. Because AJ Styles says that he was not going to wrestle, past 50? So we know that's coming real soon. Some of the things that people say that Triple H is, that they complain about why the product feels different. Maria, I'm not reading that. We don't do politics on this channel. Maria says kissing Trump's behind. Maria, remember, we don't do politics on this channel. We just talk about wrestling. Look. I'm not going to fix my face so that you can tell how I feel about that comment. Long title reigns. A slower pacing and fewer chaotic swerves. But the match, that's what people are saying with Triple H. When you are looking at the reign for the Intercontinental Championship, you got Gunther over there with 666 days. I think that Dominic Mysterio would have been on it as well too, but he had to lose 18 days to John Cena. So I personally add those 18 days from Dominic plus the 15 that he got over to his 204. So Dominic's almost at like 250. That's Steiner math. Leave me alone. Fernando says one thing that Triple H is doing wrong is voiceovers in every video package. Okay. I can see that. You know what, Fernando? I can see that. Somebody said earlier, and I don't remember who, but somebody said it's a thing about Triple H putting himself in everybody else's moment. Okay, you know what? I can eat that. All right, that's something that, and remember, the question is, what is Triple H doing right? Doing voiceovers in every package. I don't mind Triple H doing voiceovers. But maybe some people have a problem with that. The question is, then who? Who else could it be? Who can it be now? The matches are strong that we're getting these days. But some fans, they feel less magic. Here's the big divide. And I think that Fernando, his last comment is balls on dead accurate with what I'm about to say. Fernando says that Fernando says that Triple H booking after the bloodline has been suspect. When you look at one side, some people say that this has been the best WWE in years. And then the other side said, this is good, but I don't feel anything. I think that maybe after the Bloodline story, they started smelling themselves a little bit too much. Maybe it's a little bit too much of a turn of a wheel. Maybe that's why we're not getting a brand split that is doing everything all together. Sweet says that Triple H is invoking emotion from the fans, which means that he's doing his job. Sweets, I ain't even mad at you. You know I ain't mad at you? Let me tell you why I'm mad at you. I'm not mad at you because WWE said again that Saturday night's main event was the biggest. They broke records for like the most tickets or the most money made in history. It's not because they put more people in the building. It's because they charged more money. And I'm telling you, I'm not going to a WWE event until they come down on them prices. I'm going to make a conscious effort to support AEW ticket price-wise. But Triple H is doing his job. I love watching WWE now. This is me personally. I feel like the way that Vince McMahon booked from the first day of the month, the first Raw, he booked from the first Raw after the PLE, the pay-per-view, and the story would end at the next PLE pay-per-view. The way that Triple H books, he'll book from January 1st all the way up to WrestleMania. He'll book WrestleMania to SummerSlam. He'll book SummerSlam to the next Royal Rumble. We are getting long-term storytelling. We're getting storytelling that is similar to the Game of Thrones. And I don't watch that stuff. We get storytelling that is similar to a Netflix show, Orange is the New Black, because if you drop one little crumb here and you don't see that crumb, WWE will go back and go, hey, you remember that? That's what they did with the Bloodline. We haven't seen that in a while. So maybe, I don't know, maybe Fernando's right. Maybe it's just been a little bit suspect. I think that's something I talked about in my newsletter. Make sure you check out the newsletter. It's free. 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 The link is in the description. Go get the newsletter. Go read it. Check it out. There's not going to be a show Wednesday and Friday. Taking a little break this week, but I definitely will come back with a newsletter. I'll be back probably Saturday or Sunday or Monday. If you want to find out, make sure you subscribe. Hit that subscribe button if you ain't subscribed already. And make sure you hit the bell, because every time the Tristan Law Show goes live, every time this channel goes live, I want you to be here. Every time a new video drops, I want you to see it. Some people say that the product though, it's not intellectually engaging. It's not emotionally addictive. I don't know. Sweets feel different. I feel a little bit different. Maria says that she agrees with Fernando 100% that WWE has not been the same post-Bloodline. Fernando says no shows, no. Fernando, let me tell you. Here's the thing, right? One of the things you have to be careful with as a content creator, especially, so when you're running a content creator, I'm building a network of other shows on this channel. And the thing is that it's a one-man show. I'm the producer, I'm the director, I'm the fact checker, I'm the editor, I'm the graphic designer. Like, if you look at the thumbnails, right? I'm looking at the thumbnails, knowing the direction that YouTube is taking with their brand to even compete more with Netflix. I think, how would this be conveyed on Netflix? If you go back and you look at the thumbnails that I've made months ago, weeks, even last month, the new thumbnails that I'm making, I'm screaming Netflix. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. And sometimes, I just got to take a little time off so I don't get burnt out, because I went from doing one show a week to 2 shows a week to now 3 shows a week. And I always ask myself, how do you come up with things to talk about every single week? It involves me going through Reddit, going through threads, and spending time and just going through the whole entire thing. I'm just taking a little break, come back. We'll be back better than normal, better, as good as usual. But I think that WWE under Triple H, it rewards paying attention, long-term memory, and logic. But it doesn't always reward casual emotional investment. If you casually watch a WWE, you may not enjoy it. And you may not get that spontaneous joy. You may not get the big win that you want right away. And I think that this alienates fans who don't want to study wrestling. They just want to watch the wrestling and just be taken on the emotional roller coaster. That's what they want. This version of WWE asks you to think and then feel. And I think that's where the big shift comes in. Let's talk about the part that has nothing to do with booking and everything to do with the fan experience. I'm going to say it. Ticket prices. Ticket prices are out of control right now. Out of control. Here's my question for you guys. Like I said, whether you're watching live or on demand, I want to know, what is the most you'd realistically pay for a Raw or for a pro wrestling event, period? What is the most that you would pay, and where would you want to sit? Because there are fans out there that are linking the creative frustration to money. Oh, you want me to pay how much for this? Are you out of your mind? In the poll that I'm running, 33% of the people say that WWE tickets cost way too much. There are two things under there running for 25%, and his legends aren't respected anymore, and Cena's booking crossed the line. People are frustrated with the WWE right now because it costs too much money. You want me to pay how much for what? Jess the Yapton, my co that's normally here, she's not here today. She'll be back when we come back next week. She said she paid about $500 and she's sitting on the floor somewhere over there on the front behind the camera. She said she spent the money. I went to SummerSlam. SummerSlam cost $800 for 2 nights. And I had to still look up at the big screen. I think that WWE strategy, it shifts premium presentation, big culture, and sellout optics. WWE used to have 4 big events here, the big 4, Royal Rumble, Survivor Series, WrestleMania, and SummerSlam, with WrestleMania being the biggest of them all. Now what they do is they take every single event feels like WrestleMania. When it comes to the prices, the superstores, the way that they take over the towns, every event has taken that WrestleMania blueprint and copied it. Maybe that's why everything costs so damn much money. AEW is still, they said that they're still the cheapest person in town. I remember being a kid, begging my mother to go watch wrestling at Madison Square Garden. My mother said, we ain't gonna watch no damn wrestling. But I remember seeing tickets for $25. Granted, this was like 1995, 1994, 1996 to mid-90s. I remember going to the Barclays Center for SummerSlam 2018, right? Because I think 2019 was in Toronto, and the one before was in Barclays in Brooklyn. I went to both of those back to back. I remember going on StubHub, go hang around the arena, and you buy a ticket last minute, just go and you spend no more than $200, and you sat in a great spot. Now $200 can't even get you into the front door. The emotional truth, higher prices raise expectations, and fans become more harsher critics. If I'm paying more, I want more. The access problem, it's harder to be a WWE fan in person. It's easier. Look, it's hard to be look, they want you to pay, if you're not using a VPN and you're not living internationally, living in the United States, they want you to have Netflix for Raw. They want you to have cable for SmackDown. Right, because SmackDown's on USA. But you still need you need regular TV so that you can watch CW. And God forbid you don't get CW because you're cable. Now you got to go ahead and purchase the CW app, right? And then you got to go get ESPN just to go ahead and watch the PLE. And then if you want to watch Saturday Night's Main Event, you need a Peacock if you didn't have cable. Golly! How much more money can we spend? And then you want me to go ahead and spend the money in person to go watch WWE? I'm paying this much money for what? I'm not really too mad at the fans too tough because you feel the way how you feel about Cena because you paid your money and you should have gotten what you wanted. I think that the higher prices, it changes the psychology because it's more than it's expensive, right? When you pay more, you want perfection. When you pay more, it's less forgiving. When you pay more, you become critics instead of participants. When you pay more, you go from being a fan to the boardroom. Cheap tickets. When the tickets were cheap, it felt like a party. When it's expensive tickets, now it feels like, you know what? We got to judge this whole thing because I paid for this. If you go to a restaurant and the food is cheap and the food ain't that good, you'd be like, you know what? It's all right, the food was cheap. But you paid an arm and a leg to go. Look, McDonald's, Burger King, Taco Bell, all of them had expensive prices, and people stopped eating fast food and started eating more at home because McDonald's became too expensive. You spend $15 for a cheeseburger, a fry, and a drink? Are you crazy? In America? So what happened? Because people stopped going, they made the prices go down. They made it so that these fast food companies had to think about it. Now you can get a $5 biggie bag. I see the Smash Burger people, they talking about a $5.99 meal. Denny's talking about they got a $5.99 meal as well too, to bring us back into the restaurant. So America, if we have a problem with the prices that WWE are charging for us to come into the arena, stop going. Stop going. Granted, WWE might just go international and just leave us all the way alone, but you know what? They still like our money. You know why? Because when they go international, the amount of logistics that they have to move and the prices that those people paying over there ain't what we paying over here. If you look to see what the price is for Netflix or all those other stuff internationally, they're not paying what we're paying. It's all cheaper over there. But we pay it over here because everybody thinks that we in America, that we rich, and some of us are one paycheck away from the homeless shelter. Stop going. AEW is an option, and TNA is becoming an option. If WWE is too expensive, stop going. Because when fans pay premium prices, we don't chant. We evaluate. Chris says if WWE gets worse, he'll go back to watching AEW again. Tony Khan, pay attention and step up to the plate and competing with WWE. WWE is owned by Silver Lake. Yeah. Look, we're short on time. We're short on time. Maria says, I'm going to have to get a second job to continue going to live shows. Look, or sell blood. Something. But here's what I look at the whole thing. Here's my full thought on the whole thing. Here is how I land this entire thing. Triple H, he's not booking for comfort. He's booking for finality. He's booking a WWE where the torch actually gets passed, even when it hurts. And that's why the Cena finish, it set people off. Not because John Cena lost, but because it felt like WWE looked us in the face and said, that era's done. Now you add the expensive ticket prices going up, expectations going up, and the internet, we're all watching like judges, and boom. Every decision, it feels personal. It feels like they attacked you, Maria. It feels like they attacked you, Chris. It feels like they attacked you, Fernando. And Tristan, it feels like they attacked you too. I'm talking to myself. It's this. Do you want WWE to honor what it was, or do you want it to become what it needs to be in the next 20 years? I don't know. Drop your takes in the comments. Let me know how you feel. Right now, it says, right now, why are you frustrated? 33% of the audience said it's because of ticket prices. That's overwhelming. If you like what I did here today, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Drop your takes in the comments and hit the like button, hit the share button, all of that. Don't let me be a dirty secret. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today, Chris, Maria, Fernando, Sweets, and everybody else that watched. I'm looking forward to hanging out with you guys again. I'm Tristan Law. This is the Tristan Law Show, and I'll see you next time.